Hello, welcome back to another episode of Bastions and Basilisks. My name's Kalvin.
I'm Brandon.
Having a good conversation with your girlfriend.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. This episode on Dragon Ball Z, Dungeons and Dragons Z.
All you hear is for 15 minutes.
Just for 30 minutes. That's the entire episode.
The next 6 episodes.
This episode. We don't have any commercial breaks and there's no conversation. So we're
23
talking about
minutes.
the most boring of all of the classes.
The emo of the group.
The lazy fuck with a sugar daddy. Warlock. Warlocks start with DA hit points and or hit dice.
My dad's a lawyer of the group.
Right. I did have the idea for two warlocks that are played like the John Ralphio and his sister from Parks and Rec.
I've never seen Parks and Rec.
So there's two characters and they're
Why did both of you have the same reaction, but one audible and the other one visual?
They're just the worst. It's the John Ralphio is played by David Schwartz, I think, the guy who voices Sonic the Hedgehog.
I know what you're talking about.
And the woman I don't remember her name, but visually I know who she is. She's pretty great. She's got some good shit too. But they're really just bratty kids who their dad is like a dentist. Like a well-known dentist in the town, and so he just gives them money all the time, and it's just they're literally the worst. Watch the show, and then that reference will make sense.
The girl the clip that's like, "Daddy, I got bored," and set fire to your car.
I have no idea what the fucking audio that is.
It's on TikTok. Money, please. I'm not your money, please. You should give her money or she's going to start destroying stuff. Fine, here's money. Thank you! Yeah. Anyway. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. No, don't be suspicious.
Is that from that also?
Yeah.
What?
That's from that?
Yes.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, that's when they fake their death. For the money. For the insurance money. And then they run off. Spoilers. But the idea I had was that essentially two people are playing those characters, and then their dad is like a demon or a devil. And
yeah,
they're the fiendish bloodline or the fiendish pact.
they're literally the daughter and son of Mephistopheles, who could give literally no fucks. Right. My dad is Mephistopheles. He'll burn you in hellfire. He's like, who are you again?
Yeah, but the idea is essentially they're just the worst, and it's just so funny. Anyway. Proficiencies. Light armor proficiency, simple weapon proficiency, 0 tool proficiencies, because they're already tools. Boom! Saving throws are wisdom and charisma. Wisdom seems a little wonky, but it is what it is. Skills. Choose 2 skills from Arcana, Deception, History, Intimidation, Investigation, Nature, and Religion. Equipment's irrelevant. Otherworldly Patron, that's their entire subclass thing. It's their sugar daddy. Or sugar mama. Or their glucose guardian, whatever. Yeah. It's a gender neutral.
I'm not gonna lie, glucose guardian, that's fucking great. I'm gonna use that instead of sugar. Guardian. That's fucking great.
I don't want to go through the whole pack magic thing, but their pack magic is they get less spells because they're not really casters.
They decided to drop out of magic school.
Right. Because they're the worst. The big thing about them is that they get the biggest draw of warlocks is that they get their spell slots back. How little they get them back during a short rest, which can be powerful if you use a lot of short rests in your game. Simple as that. Like other stuff, their spells known. They only start with 2 spells known, and they only get 1 spell slot at first level, and they get maxed 4 spell slots. But their spells are always cast maximized at whatever their max spell slot level is. So that is one of the benefits. They max out at 5th level spell slots, but that means that they always cast whatever spell it is at the max level. Which
Wait, what?
so if you're a level 9 warlock and you cast fireball, you cast fireball at 5th as a 5th level spell.
Oh, okay. I was like super confused.
Or if you cast magic missile as a warlock, you cast it as a 5th level magic missile. It's always at whatever the spell slot. Like it's because they're using the spell slot to cast it, and it's whatever their highest spell. Like they just go up. So it's really good because they're all or nothing. Eldritch Invocations, which are really the only use of warlocks. This is just going to be me talking shit about warlocks the whole video.
Me starting to finally get buzzed agreeing with you because I don't fucking like the warlock either.
In your study of occult lore you have unearthed Eldritch Invocations, fragments of forbidden knowledge that imbue you with an abiding magical ability. At 2nd level, you gain 2 Eldritch Invocations of your choice. Your invocation options are detailed at the end of the class description. When you gain certain warlock levels, you gain additional invocations of your choice, as shown in the invocation known column of the warlock table. Additionally, when you gain a level in this class, you can choose one of the invocations you know and replace it with another invocation that you could learn at that level. Literally the only good part of them. Oh, Pact Boon.
Do you remember when I thought that the warlock got their shit at level 1?
They do. They choose their otherworldly patron. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, the pact boon is what
right. Yeah, they choose their patron at 1st level. They get their pact at 3rd level. Essentially, they have to earn it. Anyway, at 3rd level, your otherworldly patron bestows a gift upon you for your loyal services. You gain one of the following features of your choice: Pact of the Chain. You learn the Find Familiar spell and can cast it as a ritual. The spell doesn't count against your number of spells known. When you cast a spell, you can choose one of the normal forms for your familiar or one of the following special forms: Imp, Pseudo-Dragon, Quasit, or Sprite. Additionally, when you take the attack action, you can forgo one of your own attacks to allow your familiar to make one attack of its own. When you let your familiar attack, it does so with its reaction. That's an errata. Pact of the Blade, which is 90% of what people do. You can use... I don't know. I could be wrong. You can use your action to create a packed weapon in your empty hand. You can choose the form that this melee weapon takes each time you create it. See Chapter 5 for weapon options. You are proficient with it while you wield it. The weapon counts as magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance, immunity to non-magical attacks, and damage. Your packed weapon disappears if it is more than 5 feet away from you for 1 minute or more. It also disappears if you use this feature again. If you dismiss the weapon, no action required, or you die. You can transform one magic weapon into your packed weapon by performing a special ritual while you hold the weapon. You perform the ritual over the course of 1 hour, which can be done during a short rest. You can then dismiss the weapon, shunting it into an extra-dimensional space, and it appears whenever you create your packed weapon thereafter. You can't affect an artifact or a sentient weapon in this way. The weapon ceases being your packed weapon if you die, if you perform the 1 hour ritual on a different weapon, or if you use the 1 hour ritual to break your bond with it. The weapon appears at your feet if it is in the extra-dimensional space when the bond breaks. So that just means that you can add, Flame Tongue as your packed weapon.
That'd be pretty dope.
Or, the Vorpal Sword. Pact of the Tome. Wrong one.
That reminds me of Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. Fucking Sam Riegel. And I think it was being announced during their 2nd season. He kept reading it as the Tomb of Foes, not knowing it's Tome of Foes. Mm-hmm. So that's just an immediate thing that I think of. Because he did it for 3 episodes or 4 before someone corrected him.
It's Tomb, right? Not Tome. Or Tome.
Totally.
Tome. Timmy Tam. Jimmy Jams. Pact of the Tome. Your patron gives you a grimoire called a Book of Shadows. I noticed I can pronounce grimoire just fine, but apparently tome not so much.
Kind of weird that it's called a Book of Shadows, which is also a real world
magic book.
Yeah.
Which is associated with witches.
Yeah. Which we're going to get into in a later episode.
Yeah. When you gain this feature, choose 3 cantrips from any class's spell list. The cantrips are considered warlock spells for you, and they needn't be from the same spell list. That's an errata in the book that I have. While the book is on your person, you can cast these cantrips at will. They don't count against your number of cantrips known. If you lose your Book of Shadows, you can perform a 1-hour ceremony to receive a replacement for your sugar daddy, Glucose Guardian. This ceremony can be performed during a short or long rest, and it destroys the previous book. The book turns to ash when you die. I fucking hate warlocks.
I don't know. Glucose Guardian just gets me.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, ability scores 4, 8, 12, 16, 19, like most other classes. Mystic Arcanum. Arcanum? Arcanum.
Arcanum. I would say Arcanum because it's like
Mystic Phenomenon.
Phenomena.
Yep. At 11th level, your patron, Glucose Guardian, bestows upon you a magical secret called an Arcanum. Choose 1 6th level spell from the Warlock spell list as this Arcanum.
You just fucking sense me, I'm sorry.
You can cast your Arcanum spell once without expending a spell slot. You must finish a long rest before you can do so again. At higher levels, you gain more Warlock spells of your choice that can be cast in this way. 1 7th level spell at 13, 1 8th level spell at 15th level, and 1 9th level spell at 17th level. You gain all uses of your Mystic Arcanum when you finish a long rest. Matt Mercer actually had the best fucking use of this in a one-shot, or not a one-shot, when he did the Escape from Bloodkeep on the Dimension 20. It's essentially like what happens after to Sauron's minions after the One Ring is destroyed and he's killed. Like what's the fallout of that inside of his tower and like stuff, and it's the whole thing. And essentially they get into a big fight, and Matt uses like Zone of Death or something like that, which is like this huge area of effect, like 60-foot radius or something, like just monstrous radius. And he just goes boop and casts it, and like just fucks up like a ton of the enemy. Like it was, and then proceeds to spend the rest of the fight missing every swing. But he started strong. Eldritch Master. At 20th level, you can draw on your inner reserve of mystic power while begging your Glucose Guardian to regain expended spell slots. Money, please! You can spend 1 minute entreating, begging your patron, Sugar Daddy, for aid to regain all of your expended spell slots from your Pact Magic feature. Once to regain spell slots with this feature, you must finish a long rest before you can do so again. You got to give your Glucose Guardian some of that Glocog 3000 to get some. It takes a minute. Fucking hate Warlocks. That is Warlocks. We knew that this was going to be me bitching about Warlocks for.
It's not even that, just Glucose Guardian.
Glucose
like
Guardian, yeah, no. It's the gender neutral term.
I'm actually like peak tipsy right now, so it's like everything is like perfect. I'm at that good point where if I have more, I'm fucked. But if I'm like, I'm just gonna chill, and Glucose Guardian just fucking gets
just kills you. So, I really, really do hate fucking Warlocks.
There's only one time that I've made a Warlock class. I have not been able to make it, but the entire thing was I was going to be a Dompier. There was going to be a history why I became a Dompier, which was basically my character, who was a Drow, was a Drow, decided to shout out because there was like a deal with another Drow who decided to betray Lolth to overcome my family, in which I was a female Drow in this game. So that makes sense why they're trying to overthrow families with the Drow society stuff. And she was using Mephistopheles to further her goals. And so she ended up like shouting out like Mephistopheles, blah, blah, blah. I'll give you my soul. Mephistopheles, yeah, like I'll give you my soul if you like save me. Into which the other Drow who sacrificed me turned into a curse medallion that I had to permanently wear. Mm-hmm. And I turned into a Dompier, which, as a Dompier, that could be a way that you got turned. And she was a Warlock from it. And that was like, I was also Jazalt into Bloodhunter.
Oh, but that
Profane Soul, I think. Yeah, it's not, yeah, obviously it's just alt, so I'm like not maining fucking Warlock. But the entire point was like to fashion around the Warlock sense. And I was like, it was like mostly role play that I did it for. And I never got to play that character. And it hurt my soul because I was like so happy to finally be able to use Mephistopheles as a character that my character worshiped that made sense. And it's just like, never gonna be able to play it.
Right. It's just like Warlocks. Some of the things that Warlocks do there are cool. They're maximize spells up to 5th level. It's kind of bogus that it's only 5th level, but whatever. Like, their invocations are really fucking useful, and that's actually what can make the difference. Like, let's go. Fuck it. Let's go over some invocations. Like, Agonizing Blast. When you cast Eldritch Blast, add your charisma modifier to the damage it deals on a hit. Your main drain is charisma, so you're doing D10 plus whatever your charisma modifier is per beam. That's good. Armor of Shadows. You cast mage armor on yourself at will without expending a spell slot or material components. That's real good. Considering you only get light armor proficiency, that means you have a 13 plus dex. That's solid. Ascendant Step. You cast Levitate on yourself at will without spell components or slot. Beast Speech. You can cast Speak with Animals at will without spending a slot. Beguiling Influence. You gain proficiency in the Deception and Persuasion skills. Bewitching Whispers. You can cast Compulsion once using a Warlock spell slot. You can't do so again until you finish a long rest. Book of Ancient Secrets. That's too much to read. But essentially, you get that kind of improves your grimoire. Your Tomb of Foes. Like, Devil's Sight is good. You see normally in darkness, both magical and non-magical, to a distance of 120 feet. So you can cast darkness and then go pew, pew, pew.
I'm actually going to use that feat for that allows you to have a Warlock invocation.
Yeah.
I'm getting that specifically for Devil's Sight, so I can cast darkness on myself because my character is a drow from another game called Kalvin. We're rebooting this game, and to which he's going to use it so he can cast darkness on himself and do like the stereotypical Warlock thing to just attack while using that. And I honestly didn't see that until a couple of days ago on TikTok. It's kind of strange how I never get onto things until it's already like a huge thing that people know about. And I'm like, yo, look at this. And it's like, dude, that's like something I've known for years. I'm like, my train got derailed. Thanks.
Eldritch Spear. When you cast Eldritch Blast, its range is 300 feet. If you take that and the arcane, one of the feats that doubles your range if you make an attack roll. Spell Sniper. So now it's.
I thought that they gave you no range disadvantages.
It also doubles the range if you make an attack. If you cast a spell with an attack that makes an attack roll, it doubles the range.
I'm gonna look it up right now because honestly, I love how I didn't even spell it correctly, but I knew what I was talking about. I'm looking up. Hold on 1 second.
Eyes of the Runekeeper, you can read all writing, which would include Thieves' Cant and Druidic.
100% correct. It is doubled.
Of course I'm fucking right. Why are you?
It ignores half cover and 3/4 cover also.
Yeah. Why the fuck are you questioning me?
I wasn't. I just wanted to make sure for my own.
Disrespectful.
You're right.
You're not my glucose guardian no more.
I was about to say you're my glucose guardian.
Fiendish Vigor, you can cast False Life on yourself at will as a first level spell without expending spell slot or material components. That's really good because now you have temporary hit points at will. Like, going into a fight, you're like, boom, D4 plus 4. Now I have minimum 5 to 8 temporary hit points going into literally every fight.
Which one are we on?
Fiendish Vigor. It's on the next page.
I was like completely like lower down the list for some reason, thinking that you blew past a couple of them because I was having to.
I did because I didn't give a shit about some of them. Like,
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like Eyes of the Runekeeper looks really nice, but let's be honest, no one's wasting that.
I disagree. I'm a wizard.
I've never seen someone legitimately.
I'm a wizard at heart, so I think it's a really good.
I love the idea of being able to read everything.
Right.
Because you can read all writing, you can't speak it. It doesn't say you have the ability to speak. I love the idea of being able to understand it and speak it in your own tongue. I've never seen it, and I've played with a couple warlocks. They've never taken this invocation.
Well, no, because most warlocks are stupid. Fuck warlocks. But no, they get. I mean, they get other abilities. Actually, one of the ones I really like, because you take Book of Ancient Secrets and you take Book of the Moon from in Xanathar's, and now you can spend your long rest. You don't have to sleep during a long rest. You can actually just spend your time like researching.
I like that idea, honestly, because like I like the idea of spending a long rest kind of studying, and like that's your thing. Like you're still resting, but like you're able to do that without like any negative effects.
So the invocations are like 99% of any interest I have in this class. Well, no, it's not true. Probably 75%, and then 24% is the spell slot. Because you get it, and you get Eldritch Smite. You can't use a spell slot. You hit somebody with a critical hit. My Barbarian went into Warlock.
You do know how they study, right?
Blowing their glucose guardians?
Yeah. I'll show you in the book. This is how they study. Let me see the book.
You better not fuck up my player's handbook. This costs me money. She has a book on her head. They learn by osmosis.
Yeah. That's why they don't.
It's like sorcerers.
That's why they don't know anything.
Exactly.
Warlocks are just Jon Snow, except less handsome. Fuck.
You put it nicer than what I would have said.
They're glucose guardian. Fucking hate warlocks. Good thing this is about us bitching.
I'm gonna send this video to like all my fucking friends.
Good. Then they're gonna comment, and I'm gonna argue with people about it, and that's gonna get.
If they decide to, I'm gonna definitely send this to Ed.
But yeah, it's just like they're better than normal ranger. Like they're not a bad class. I just fucking hate them.
That's such a low bar to compare.
I know. It's just they're so boring.
It goes from shit tier list ranger warlock. Like they're barely under each other.
And it's also, I think it's also the fact, it doesn't help that there are just so many people who fucking idolize warlocks. They're like, warlocks are so great. I'm like, they're not.
They all play the same.
They're not shit. They're not. Yeah, everybody plays a fucking
edgy ass fucking kid.
And it's like, I'm like, they're not that good of a class.
An edgy, spoiled brat.
They're the worst.
Which is funny because like when I was making mine wasn't a spoiled brat. Like mine was an outcast because when they found out that she made a deal with Mephistopheles, you know, they were gonna immediately kill her. Plus the fact that she's a vampire now, like she'd have to fucking leave. So she's kind of like she's reserved. She's trying to keep herself hidden and all that jazz. So she's not the spoiled brat. She was supposed to be like a bookworm basically.
Just run up the walls. Be like, fuck you, bitches, and you just run up a wall.
They made Hermione Granger.
No, less pompous, less ginger.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with gingers.
There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm being honest. She had black hair and she was like a Dompier who looked pretty human.
Or she could just go to the bottom of a pool of water and just hang out there until they leave her alone.
Okay, Percy Jackson.
Well, no,
that's literally how the first movie starts. He's
I'm
just
aware. I've seen the movie. I've also read the books because I'm better than
I've read a lot of the books too.
No, so that's actually my damn fear went swimming, and like just dropped into the water and then just waited for fish to come by and then just grabbed them.
Can you imagine playing
because
a
I don't have to breathe.
All the you make a water campaign, you make the one character who's not a water genasi, so you're just a Dompier like, hi, I can see in the dark because water genasi can't.
But yeah, warlocks have, like I said, their invocations are so good.
Most of them, some of them.
All of them are really good, depending on are circumstantially good.
Yeah,
it
like
just sucks how many of them are dependent on Eldritch Blast. Like there's like 8 of them I think that are related to Eldritch Blast, whereas there's probably only 8 or 9 of them that have anything to do with your packs. So it's like, woo, like that means that Eldritch Blast is more important than what any pact you make.
They knew what they were doing. Because let's be honest, they can't do anything besides Eldritch Blast after what 1 or 2 spell uses.
Right.
Glucose Guardians.
They're just, I fucking hate them. They're so useless.
I don't fucking.
They're like pew pew. I'm dying.
They're literal a one-trick show.
And I think the other thing is somebody's like, oh, they have a built-in role-playing device. And I'm like,
All of them do.
literally every class does if you're playing the game correctly. Like,
Even not even playing
they're
it
just,
correctly.
warlocks are just peak lazy. Warlocks are just peak lazy character. Like, I just get spells because I was too lazy. I just be like, hey, Daddy, can I have a spell, please? Daddy. Fucking hate warlocks. But, like, they're just...
It's the under the breath, I fucking hate warlocks.
Fucking hate warlocks. They're just lazy. They're like, oh, I don't...
Where's the actual spellcaster?
Please.
Where's the
Money,
full
please. Spells, please.
It's like I'm imagining Batman as a full caster versus the Joker, who's the warlock, who's just like, I can do whatever I want because Eldritch Blast. It's like the full caster's like, really? The fuck?
But yeah, like, yeah, they're
like, I could deal with you, but let's be honest, if I did, it'd be a waste of resources.
But yeah, like, it's what class doesn't have a built-in role playing?
That's like saying the Blood Hunter, like, you could play Blood Hunter because it was built-in role play. It's like, first of all, they all fucking do. And one of the big issues,
your cleric order, your barbarian path,
the
your
fucking
monastic
paladin,
order, your sorcerer bloodline, like wizard school, your bard college, like
you have so much that you can work with, but it's just like
every single character class has something.
Even the fucking fighter archetypes have something.
Right, because
they're pretty fucking basic. Like, well, some of them are basic. Like, the fighter fucking samurai. Guess what? You're a samurai,
Or the champion, or
Cavalier Master, or Cavalier, whatever it is. Like, that one's pretty...
yeah, but it's... Every single class has something.
You still have it, yeah.
Because you're still a fighter, so you had to train somewhere.
You just trained on a horse, or
you just
whatever.
Trained on a mountaintop.
Fear the man who trains 1,000 sword slashes versus the man who tries 1,000 different types of sword slashes. Enter Demon Slayer, Zenitsu.
Yeah. Thunder.
I just recently fucking finished that, season 1, and I heard that season 2 was on like Hulu or some shit. Now I want to buy Hulu to watch season 2, but I can't because I'm broke. I want to watch Demon Slayer.
Thunderclap and Flash.
I want to get a Demon Slayer tattoo so fucking bad.
Zenitsu's great.
Zenitsu is my favorite.
He is obnoxious as fuck, and they need to dial his perverted nature the fuck back.
Harley fucking hates. Like, she doesn't like anime as is, so she's like chilling facing me while I'm watching Demon Slayer, and Zenitsu finally came up and was like, I fucking hate him. And I was like, Zenitsu is me. He's fucking obnoxious and over the fucking top.
Yeah. But he only really shows up to do anything twice.
Spider arc. And that was before the spider arc was the drum guy. Yeah. That guy.
Well,
who was
he didn't fight the drum guy, but yeah, in that house.
Well, in that episode era.
And then he kind of shows his heart by holding.
No, that's Inosuke. Zenitsu's the orange-haired guy who does the lightning flash and clap. The one that's the pervert. Oh. The one that goes after fucking
everything.
Nasuka-chan!
Fucking poor fucking.
I think it's the voice mostly that bugs the shit out of me.
She was watching fucking One Piece.
Anyway.
Yeah, let's get off.
We're still recording.
Let's get off the recording before we
continue. About Demon Slayer, which is Zenitsu's still better than Warlocks.
He's actually useful when he falls unconscious.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm Kalvin.
I'm Brandon.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And now you get to listen to the outro song. And that's the outro song. Yeah.